Two schools separated by 12 miles of some of the most beautiful countryside in Texas. Tonight they meet on the gridiron. Not only is it homecoming 2017 at Canyon Lake High School, but we also have the battle of the backbone between a couple of longtime rivals. Welcome to Hawks Stadium as the 2-1 Canyon Lake Hawks welcome in their neighbors 12 miles to the east, the 3-0 Wimberley Texans on the Hawks Network. I'm Bill Culhane alongside Geff Gandy and our entire Hawks Network production team. And Jeff, in your time winning a state championship at Churchill High School, you went on to your career with the Baylor Bears and then on to the NFL. You've experienced rivals. We've got one in front of us tonight.
Hey, if I was the Texans, I'd be ready to know I'm getting their best shot.
When we come back, Jeff's going to look in a little more detail at both teams. We're counting down to kickoff, and this is Canyon Lake Hawks football on the Hawks Network.
Ashley HOMESTORE is proud to sponsor Canyon Cougars. Go Cougs!
Where Zaxby's is from, everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And now you'll like it even more because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
Just underway, the battle of the backbone. The Hawks are in their home green uniforms with gold numerals, green helmets with the interlocking C and L on either side of the helmet. The visiting Wimberley Texans, they've got on the white jerseys, white pants, navy numerals trimmed in red, and they've got the navy blue helmet with the Wimberley logo on either side. Ben Fulton, a 3-year starter, all-district second team a year ago, brings the offense out onto the field. Non-district action. Turn, handoff, up the middle, not a lot of room, maybe a yard. Getting up from the bottom of the pile is Micah St. John. It's second down and 8.
Well, just as we thought how the game was going to start, they're going to check the middle of that defense and the heart of defense by looking at the inside linebacker and the nose guard, 55, Kevin Rutherford, to see what he's going to do.
Rosas brings in the play, tight formation by the Hawks. Second down and 8, and we've gotten movement.
Yeah.
It's going to be a false start against Canyon Lake. We'll back up the Hawks 5 yards. What was second down and 8 will be second down and 13.
You know, it looks like to me, Bill, that actually Wimberley, they run a traditional 34 defense, but tonight, knowing that they're going against a rushing phenomenon, shall we say, with Canyon Lake, that they actually put an extra down lineman, so they want to go an even 4-man front against the run.
Coming in from the sidelines is McDonough. He's a 6'5" target. Fulton under center, handoff, going around left tackle, across midfield, into Texan territory, 45, 40, wrestled down at the 38-yard line. That's good for a gain of 18 yards on the play. That was Chacon on the carry. First down and 10 for the Hawks.
You know what, there was a big hole on the left side because of Joseph Crisp. The left guard did a nice job of sealing down the nose guard of Wimberley, and he did a nice job. That's why there was such a big hole.
Martelli, the junior, brings in the play. Fulton will bark out the signals. Handoff to the fullback, up the middle. St. John inside the 35, the 30, inside the 25, finally brought down at the 24-yard line. That's a gain of 13 yards on the play. A couple of big runs by Micah St. John, who was all-district second team a year ago.
Another quick trap right off of the left guard. Chris doing a nice job sealing down the nose guard, and there's some gap there to that St. John was able to run through.
First and 10 at the Texan 24-yard line. Just underway from Hawks Stadium, no score. Sun setting in Fischer, Texas. Here's Chacon around the left corner. He's inside the 20, wrapped up at about the 18-yard line. That'll go for a gain of 6 yards on the play. Second down and 4. 10 minutes to go in the first quarter.
This is what we talked about at the outset of the game. When you run the football, and that's what you like to do, don't get behind the chains. It's nice to be 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4. That puts you in an advantage to do that you can call more out of your repertoire.
Duke comes off, McDonough into the ball game. Fulton under center behind Bradley Height. Man in motion right to left. Handoff. St. John over left tackle, lowers his head, thunders inside the 10-yard line down to the 8-yard line. That's good for a gain of 10 yards. First and goal, Canyon Lake at the Texan 8-yard line.
Same song and dance. They're going to run off that left side between Crisp and Height. Did a nice job of opening a nice hole by blocking down on Krodowski and Kapros.
Right now, offensive coordinator Troy Moses for Canyon Lake is dialing up some run game. Fulton again. Turns, fakes the handoff, a keeper off right guard by the quarterback Fulton. Doesn't get much. Maybe a yard to the 7. Getting in on the stop, Carruthers for Wimberley. Second and goal, we'll call it the 7-yard line. 8:55 to go in the first quarter. Opening drive of the ball game. Canyon Lake, this started at their own 47-yard line.
I don't know if that was a busted play in the backfield or it was a design keeper.
Canyon Lake home tonight against Wimberley, at Lampasas next week. Man in motion left to right. Fulton inside handoff. Chacon inside the 5. Drags a Texan tackler with him to about the 2-yard line. That's good for a gain of, we'll call it 5 yards. And actually they spotted at the 1. Give Chacon 6 yards on the carry. Third and goal. Now they move it back. Well, it's at the 1. Third and goal from the 1. Now the Canyon Lake crowd gets into it. This is pad level, isn't it, Jeff?
It's about pad level,
Pad
big
level.
time. Stay low.
Fulton turns, hands it off. Chacon met at the goal line, tries to keep his feet moving, but is stopped shy of the promised land. He'll be stopped at about the half-yard line. Okay, Jeff, I'm going to put you to work. Opening drive of the game, you've got 4th and goal from the half-yard line. What do? You
go for it. You've been effective running the football, and they've been really effective running the football on the left side of the line of scrimmage. I would go back there.
The football tickles the inside of the right hash mark. Hawks going for it. Fulton on the quarterback, power, takes it to the touchdown.
Good job.
Fulton faked the handoff, and then he followed the running back off right guard. 6-0. Hawks with the early lead.
Offensive line got a good initial blow, low, moved the defensive line back, and like you said, Fulton just followed his fullback. He had an extra blocker to lead the way in the end zone.
Lorette comes on for the try. He'll kick out of the hold of Ben Fulton. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick wide left. But the Hawks get on the board, an opening drive of 53 yards with 7:20 to go in the first quarter. Canyon Lake 6 and Wimberley nothing. Now JoJo Weeks gets his chance, Jeff.
Yeah, you do have to kick the ball off to the other team. Is that it? We just can't call it a game right now. No, you couldn't have scripted it any better for Canyon Lake to take the opening kickoff, have a great kickoff return, set you up in good field position, and march right down and score. I mean, they converted every third down. That's the way you want to see it. That's a good comeback. That's the way you improve from last week, get over the slump from last week, and come into this game.
The Texans offensively from left to right, again, they'll work out of the spread. Ian Burnett is at left tackle, a 4-year starter. Hunter Moore at left guard, Daniel Gafford the center, Gerard Pitcher the right guard, Colin Kincaid at right tackle, JoJo Weeks the senior is at quarterback, Thomas Carruthers the running back, the 4 receivers, Wyatt Mann, Cade Stovers, Hayden Krebs, and Gavin Martinez. Defensively, meanwhile, for the Hawks out of a 4-2-5, Rosas, Parrish, Shepard, and Crisp across the front. The linebackers are McCormick, Lee, the rover is Stafford, safety is Lorette along with the free safety Ruff. The cornerbacks are Bame and McDonough. Here's the kickoff. It's taken at the 35, out over the 40 to the 45-yard line. And tackled on the return is Bonoli, also the free safety for Wimberley. And all of a sudden Wimberley with some nice starting field position of their own.
Well, they sure do. That little pop-up kickoff, sometimes it works. You're looking for them to maybe muff catching the football or get some sort of turnover. It didn't happen, and now you give great field position for your opponent.
A year ago in this meeting, I mentioned that Canyon Lake just 1 of 10 on third downs. And Jeff pointed out, nice job keeping the chains moving, scoring on 4th and 1. Weeks out of the shotgun. Back goes in motion to the left. 4 receiver set. Weeks back to pass. Throws it downfield, near side. Has a man and through the hands of the intended receiver, Gavin Martinez, at about the 30-yard line, incomplete. I'm not sure if Martinez lost that one in the sky or
it did look like. It did look like he did, but Ruff had good inside-out position on him, so it would have had to been a really good catch to catch that football. But you know what we typically will see, JoJo Weeks is standing back there, and somehow the defense for Canyon Lake is going to have to get pressure. That's really the name of the game tonight.
2nd down and 10. As a matter of fact, earlier this week, Coach Strum talked about making Weeks uncomfortable. He's out of the gun again, back offset to the right, fakes the handoff. Here comes the pressure, dumps it off right side, across midfield, into Canyon Lake territory, far sideline, inside the 45, shoved out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. On the catch, it looked like it was Mitchell, and the big gainer of 16 yards gives Wimberley their first down of the game. 1st and 10 at the Canyon Lake 39-yard line.
Real good looking play on 2nd down. You drag that fullback who scoots out and comes across the line of scrimmage, and he was wide open. The linebackers couldn't run with him.
Our head referee has called officials timeout on the field. It's going to come across to the near side to visit with 6-year head coach for Canyon Lake, Charlie Drum. Coach Drum mentioned it. Took over from Matt Monzingo in 2012, the legendary coach for the Hawks, who's now the athletic director for Comal ISD.
Okay.
And they're looking up here to the press box.
Maybe the coach's headphones aren't working. So
yeah, I'm not sure. 6:56 to go in the first quarter from Hawks Stadium. The Hawks out in front, 6-0. Those of you just joining us, the Hawks scoring on 4th and goal from the 1.
You know, Bill, on that last play, I was just watching Weeks. He got up slow and limping. So I don't know if that's going to have any kind of indication later in the game, but it's that kind of pressure. It's that kind of pounding. You got to get some hits on the quarterback for Canyon Lake to really have an effect on Weeks. You're going to have to get to him.
Weeks so far this year through 3 games, 52 of 80, 65% completion rate, 995 yards, 10 scores, and no picks.
Yeah.
I looked at the football book last night. That's pretty good.
That's real good. They average 19 yards per receiving. I mean, when they catch it, they run and they make some yardage.
Now our head referee has gone to the far sideline to visit with Doug Warren. Coach Warren in his 5th year as the head coach at Wimberley. He took over, of course, for Nelson Helms, the legendary coach of the Texans. Coach Warren has been on the staff at Wimberley for 12 years. Well, whatever it is has been worked out. Wimberley 1st down and 10 at the Hawks' 39-yard line. The ball rests on the right hash mark. Here Weeks goes under center. Carruthers the back behind him. Man goes in motion left to right. That's man. Handoff Carruthers going around the right corner, turns it up inside, is tripped up inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. A pickup of 5, 2nd down and 5. And you think about Wimberley being a passing team, Jeff, but Carruthers can run the ball as well.
He's a real effective runner, actually. In fact, Coach Warren paid him a huge compliment, and that is he doesn't go down after first contact. That's a sign of a really good running back. He picks up that extra 3 or 4 yards once he makes contact with a defender. That's what we saw in that last play.
Carruthers averaging 8.7 yards per carry this year. Weeks again under center. 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Man in motion, left to right, play action. Weeks throws it near side. Martinez gets a block, is wrapped up and slung out of bounds near sideline at about the 34-yard line. Lorette came over along with Bame. There's a Hawk shaken up on the play. It goes down as no gain, 2nd down and 5, and now the trainers will come out to tend to the injured Hawk.
You couldn't have played that play any better than what Lorette did on that play. Shucking his blocker, coming up and making the stop for no gain.
Stops the clock with 5:53 to go in the first frame. The Hawks leading 6-0. Those of you just joining us, Bill Culhane along with Geff Gandy, the Hawks production crew in attendance. This is our first video audio production of Hawks football here in 2017. Encourage you to keep an eye on the website for future broadcasts involving Canyon Lake Hawks football.
Yeah. You know, Bill, it looks like the referee's questioning the headsets again with Coach Drum.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't get the number of the Hawk player being tended to, and we're not in the guessing game. And finally up under his own power. And it looks like he's holding his right arm. Coach Drum out there helping to tend to his injured player.
Is that Lee, number 8?
Comes to the near sideline, and the head trainer will immediately escort the Hawk player over to the bench area. 3rd down and 5 yards to go. Ball at the left hash mark for the Texans. Weeks out of the shotgun. Handoff Carruthers. Up the middle, is met at the line of scrimmage. Keeps his feet, bounces off one tackle, gets a couple of yards. Tackled at the 32-yard line. A gain of a couple. And now we've got 4th down and 2. Yeah. And, Jeff, I'm going to put you to work again.
No, that play was blown up by number 4. Parker Reno did a nice job shooting the gap and getting Carruthers in the backfield. He lost his balance, and he couldn't pick up any more momentum. That was a great job by the linebacker, Reno.
This is a long 2 to go, 4th down for the Texans. 5:15, clock ticking, first quarter. 6-0, Hawks on top of the Texans. And the Texans appear as though they'll go for it. Weeks out of the shotgun, Carruthers to his right. Man in motion, left to right, Stover, and we've got a whistle.
Yep.
Timeout called by Wimberley. 5 minutes exactly to go in the first quarter. The Texans traveling right to left. And in case you're wondering, earlier this week I asked Coach Warren, what is the range of your kicker, Nick Coles? And he said in practice, under ideal conditions, which I would call this, said
pretty ideal.
Coles is good from 37 to 40.
And he'll have a little bit of wind behind his back going right to left as well.
He would. This would be about a 49-yarder. I can't argue going for it here on 4th down.
I would go for it on 4th down as well. I mean, you have Thomas Carruthers, and with his ability to lower his pad and his ability to maybe get that extra large yard after first contact, I'd definitely look for him to get in the football.
I'll tell you what, we look around the stands here at Hawks Stadium, and you would need some Vaseline and a shoehorn to get many more people into the stands here. The Texans come out.
Trying to visualize that myself.
4th down and a long 2. Dane Saucier, the offensive coordinator for the Texans. Weeks in the gun, a back each way. Back to pass, rolls to his right.
Yep.
Weeks fires it downfield, and it's broken up, incomplete. Nice drive on the ball. Coming up and making the play for Canyon Lake is McDonough. 1st down and 10 going the other way for the Hawks.
Bill, we talked about in the opening segment is what defense is going to step up and make a play. That time, McDonough did a great job closing in on the out route and knocking the ball down just as the receiver was trying to grab it and pull it in. It was a super-duper job.
So now Canyon Lake, after the turnover on downs, Ben Fulton goes back to work. Turn, handoff, up the middle, has some room. Across the 35, out over the 40 to the 42-yard line. On the run is Micah St. John, the 5'9", 195-pound senior. Shy of the 1st down by about a yard.
And guess where they're running it? Left side between Crisp and Height, just like the previous drive.
There are 4 seniors and a junior starting on the offensive line for the Hawks. Jeff just mentioned 2 of them. And now our head referee, I think they're going to call for a measurement. No, they're going to give the Hawks the 1st down.
Boy, talking about moving the chains, when you have a predominant running style of offense, this is exactly how you want to dial it up. Second and short, third and short. This puts you in the opportunity to call whatever you want to that next down. And that's what we're seeing them do.
McDonough, who had the big play on defense, comes into the offensive huddle. Fulton brings the Hawks up. Handoff, turning up inside and met at the line of scrimmage for no gain. The ball carrier for the Hawks, getting up from the bottom of the pile, is Chacon. Second down and 10 for the Hawks. 4:15 to go in the first quarter. 6-0, Canyon Lake out in front.
Yeah. Don't want to get too fancy right now, but just keep doing what's been working until they stop you.
Duke brings the play in. The Hawks in the all green. Wimberley in their traveling whites. Fulton fakes the handoff. No, gives it up the middle, out over the 45, lowering his head and wrestling his way out near midfield for a gain of about 8 yards.
That's that quick trap play. Again, this time off the right side between Foster and Allman. Nice job on those two kids making a nice hole.
And that was St. John again. St. John here in the first quarter is really earning his keep.
Yeah, 4-7 in the 40-yard dash. You get him at the second level, get him to put on the afterburners, they won't catch him.
Third down and 2. 6-man front for the Texans. Fulton hands it off. St. John off left guard. Lowers his head. Has enough for the first down inside the Texans' 45-yard line all the way to the 41. He needed 2. He got 9. It's first down and 10 for the Hawks at the Texans' 41-yard line.
Just keep doing what's working, Bill, until they can stop you. Just keep coming out. Keep pounding it and pounding it. That wears down the defense. And then if they start crowding it in the box with more personnel, you do a little play-action pass.
Speaking of pass, Ben Fulton has attempted 29 passes this year. But right now, it is pound the turf for the Hawks. First and 10. Fulton hands it off to the back, coming around left to right, hit in the backfield. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. Carruthers on the stop and on the carry for Canyon Lake. There was Ruiz filling in for Tanner Ferris.
Yeah. Well, Rutherford, the nose guard, that time did a nice job. He actually slipped the block and came in the backfield. That really slowed up that counter tray play.
So no gain, second down and 10. Tanner Ferris will not play in tonight's game. There's movement by the Eagles. 2 men moving at the same time. Lorette was going in motion right to left, and Ruiz came out of his three-point stance. That'll back the Hawks up 5 yards. 2:24 to go in the first quarter. 6-0 Canyon Lake. The Hawks took it 53 yards on the opening drive of the game.
This is what you don't want. This is when I say get behind the chains. Second and long.
What must be going through Ruiz's mind knowing that he's filling in for a guy like Tanner Ferris?
Actually, probably a little nervous, but he's doing a good job so far.
Fulton turns, hands it off to Lorette, going around
Nice
the
block.
left corner, up the far sideline to the 45-40, inside the 35, breaks away from a tackler, finally shoved out of bounds at the 28-yard line. That's good for a gain of 20 yards and another Hawk first down. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
You just mentioned, what is Ruiz thinking, filling in for Ferris? Well, that play right there, he delivered the key block that made that play work. So nice job by Ruiz.
Trent Lorette against Reagan had 2 rushes for 91 yards earlier this year. Fulton on the handoff up the middle. Not much room for St. John on this carry. Gets maybe a yard.
Yeah, it's Moore and Rutherford again on the tackle.
Good job holding the point of attack there by the Texan front. Second down and 9 yards to go.
This is what you want to do when you're grounding and pounding. Let the clock keep running. You're ahead on the scoreboard, and you just keep working the defense. That's exactly how Drum wanted to do it.
Exactly. Said that's one way to stop the Texans' offense. Fulton rolls to his right, flips it in the near flat over the head of the intended receiver, Chacon. That one too tall, incomplete. Third down and 9 for the Hawks. First pass attempt of the ball game for Ben Fulton, the 6'1" senior.
Yeah, that's tough because Chacon was wide open, and with it being an incomplete pass, it stops the clock.
67 seconds left in the first quarter. 6-0 Canyon Lake. Fulton scored on a 4th and a yard on the opening drive of the game. The Hawks missed the extra point. Fulton barks out the call. Straight drop back. Here comes the pressure. Over the middle. Has Chacon at the 21-yard line. Immediately tackled. Coming up to make the stop was Stover. Chacon's going to be a couple of yards shy of the first down. And Jeff, I don't think there's any question that Canyon Lake will go for it here on 4th and 2.
Yeah, you might as well go for it. And really, it was a nice job that time by the safety Stover, who read Chacon. That was just basically he was hidden and he came out of the backfield, and the safety comes up and makes a nice job.
That's Chacon's 5th reception on the season. Ben Fulton now 17 of 31 throwing the football, and where they spotted, it's actually going to be 4th down and a long 3 for the Hawks. And timeout, Charlie Drum stops the clock with 19 seconds to go in the first quarter. It's the Hawks 6, the Texans nothing. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be back with more Hawks football. You're on the Hawks Network.
Whether you're looking to build a new home, buy your first car, or follow your dream of being your own boss, let a neighbor help you. We understand your financial needs because we live and work here. Sage Capital Bank.
If you bank at Frost, we'll help keep your money safe. If you use your Frost debit card, the chip will make it more secure. If there's a suspicious transaction on your card, you'll get an alert. If you do, you can freeze your card with the Frost app. If you lose your phone, Touch ID login will help keep the app secure. Of course, if all you need is help from people who care, we've got that too.
This game isn't even a quarter old yet, and we've had some big 4th downs already. Here, 4th down and a long 3 for the Hawks. The ball sitting at the Wimberley 23-yard line. Ben Fulton coming out of timeout, sends a receiver out each way, out of the shotgun. Quarterback draw, Fulton off right guard, spins out of a tackle inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. A late flag comes in. We might have a face mask call. First down Hawks, pending the penalty, and a couple of claps from a couple of Hawks down there. You don't have to be a great reader of nonverbal communication to see that it is personal foul. Face mask again against the Texans is going to march this ball further into Texans territory, and now our head referee calls an official's timeout again, visiting with Charlie Drum again. Yeah, they've had more meetings than the UN Nations.
And probably more successful meetings than the UN Nations. No, I really don't understand. Maybe it's a sideline warning, or I don't know.
13 seconds to go in the first quarter. The penalty will move the ball all the way to the Texans' 9-yard line. First and goal for Canyon Lake. Already out in front, 6-0.
You know, that last play, what really set up Fulton being able to get that extra yardage was a really good block by J.T. Green on the outside.
J.T. Green, the 6'1", 210-pound junior. This could be the final play of the first quarter, and as we look down, Canyon Lake's going to let the time expire. 12 minutes in the books, the battle of the backbone. After one, it's Canyon Lake 6, Wimberley nothing. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have the second quarter here on the Hawks Network.
When you're ready for a break, hurry in to Chicken Express. Let us do all the cooking for you. We always offer high-quality, affordable meals that the entire family will enjoy. Our chicken is never frozen and it's hand-battered fresh, so you can really taste the difference. You can expect fast and friendly service at Chicken Express, whether you dine in, drive through, or drive up. Hurry in and hurry back to Chicken Express.
Whether you're looking to build a new home, buy your first car, or follow your dream of being your own boss, let a neighbor help you. We understand your financial needs because we live and work here. Sage Capital Bank. Welcome back again to Hawks Stadium here in Fischer, Texas.
Canyon Lake, after stopping Wimberley on a 4th down, took over at their own 32-yard line, have marched all the way to the Wimberley 9-yard line. 1st and goal. Fulton under center for the Hawks. Turns and hands it off to Chacon. Going around the right corner, pushed out of bounds at the far sideline after a gain of 4 yards on the play.
Tough running by Chacon on the outside that time. Pulling guard was Chris. Pulling around the right side, trying to lead block for Chacon was enough to get a few yards out of it, but it was just tough running by Chacon.
2nd and goal at the 5. Bonoli, one of the Texans, in on the tackle. Just underway, 2nd quarter, 6-0 Canyon Lake. Out in front of their neighbors, the Wimberley Texans. Standing room only crowd here on Homecoming 2017. Fulton man in motion right to left. Pitches coming around the left side. Inside the 5. Touchdown Ruiz! And the Canyon Lake Hawks have raced out to a 12-0 lead over the Texans.
Nice job of Fulton running the option play, pitching it to Ruiz, who basically almost had clear sailing all the way into the end zone. Nice job of blocking by the interior lineman. It was just well executed, Bill.
That'll bring Lorette out to attempt the extra point again out of the hold of Fulton. That touchdown for Ruiz, his first touchdown of the year. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick is up, and it splits the pipes. Don't adjust your channel, your whatever. 11:46 to go in the 2nd quarter. Canyon Lake 13, Wimberley nothing. We'll be back in a moment on the Hawks Network.
Ashley Home Store is proud to sponsor Canyon Cougars. Go Cougs!
Where Zaxby's is from, everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And now you'll like it even more because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
A couple of rushing touchdowns for the Hawks, one by Fulton in the 1st quarter, one by Ruiz at the start of the 2nd quarter. 13-0 Hawks. Who would have thunk it, Jeff?
I wouldn't have thunk it either. Let me tell you, that's how you want to draw up the first quarter, where your opponent's offense is on the field for one series.
Lorette to kick it away for Canyon Lake, right to left here in the 2nd quarter. 2 men deep for the Texans.
Kick it deep. You got the wind at your back. Kick it deep.
And Lorette, it's a high end-over-end kick. Is going to push the man back to about the 10-yard line. Bonoli out over the 15, lowers his head at the 20 to the 22-yard line. The ball comes loose. The Hawks say they have it, or will the officials say that Bonoli was down by contact? Yep, that's what the call will be.
Yeah. We don't have instant replay, do we?
No, we do not, and in some instances, I'm thankful. 11:40 to go in the 2nd quarter. And Wimberley, just their 2nd drive of the game, will start at their own 23-yard line.
You have to get the whole field to run. That was a great kickoff, kicking it deep. Wind was at the kicker's back, pinning them back deep in their own side of the territory. This is the way you want to draw it up.
JoJo Weeks out of the shotgun, has 3 to the left, 1 to the right, a back offset to his right. 4-man front out of the 4-2-5 for the Hawks. Weeks calls his own number. Coming around the right corner, lowers his head to the 25-yard line. A gain of 3. There's a flag on the play. One of the Hawks getting in on the stop was Ross Snowden. And let's see what the flag is.
That was just an old zone read, and that time Weeks just pulled the ball out and tried to get something on his own.
The call's a hold against the Texans. Charlie Drum elects to move Wimberley back 10 yards on the penalty. You wonder if the Texans, who haven't had much adversity yet this season, you wonder if Wimberley is starting to feel it a little bit.
They may.
The penalty moves the ball back to the 13-yard line. 1st down and 20 for the visitors. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Weeks, receiver screen left side. Has a man, 15, misses a tackler inside the 20-25, finally spun down to the 27-yard line.
Yep.
That's a gain of 13 on the play. Gets a bunch of the penalty and then some back. 2nd down and 6 to go for Wimberley.
Well,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say they average 19 yards per reception. You would think that they can make up some real estate in big chunks, and that time they did on that quick screen play.
That was Stover on the reception, a guy who came in with 14 grabs in 3 games coming into the game. Weeks, there's a flag. I think one of the Texans started early, and that's going to be the call.
Wow.
So instead of 2nd down and a long 6, it'll be 2nd down, and we'll call it 11 for Wimberley.
You know, talking with Coach Warren earlier this week, he said that one of the things they do need to work on is cleaning up their penalties, and it looks like they still are bitten by the penalty bug right now.
I mentioned that Canyon Lake will take on Lampasas on the road next week. Wimberley, they're at Fredericksburg. 2 receivers out each way. 10:40 to go in the 2nd quarter. 13-0 Hawks over the Texans. Now the slot receiver on the left comes in motion left to right. Weeks, quick hitter, near side, hit at the 20 and driven down at the 19-yard line. What a nice defensive play. Coming up and making the stop is Lee Stafford for Canyon Lake, one of the captains, making the tackle.
He's a rover, yeah. Stafford, nice job. You spread this by the formation. You spread those outside linebackers out. Stover did a nice job just coming up quickly, beating the block, and making the play in the backfield for a 3rd and long now for Wimberley.
Hayden Krebs was on the reception. It goes for a loss of 3 yards on the play. 3rd down and 14 for Wimberley. Crowd yells out defense here at Hawk Stadium. Weeks pivots. Eludes Rosas, rolls to his left, throws it downfield, in and out of the hands, almost intercepted by Lorette at about the 30-yard line. There is a flag down in the secondary. Let's see what the call is.
Is it lineman downfield, I wonder? Weeks got pressure that time on the perimeter by number 90. Rosas did a nice job making Weeks really not be able to set his feet so he couldn't get a good pass off. And that's what you have to do. You have to disrupt his timing. And Rosas did a nice job of doing that. And Weeks threw it down the field where the safety, Lorette, was just sitting there waiting for an interception. Should have been intercepted, actually.
And you got the call right. It was ineligible man downfield on Wimberley. And Canyon Lake accepts the penalty. 3rd down and 19 for Wimberley. The ball sitting at their own 14-yard line. I would have declined the penalty.
I think the coach is just now declining it, actually,
right?
Bill. Yeah.
Because with the incompletion, it would have been 4th and 13.
Exactly.
I think if my memory serves me.
It's 4th down.
Yeah, okay, so to back it up.
Yeah.
You know.
It was 3rd and a country mile, but still,
Yeah.
I would take the down.
And Coach Warren is going to send his punt team on. Wyatt Mann, who's averaging 37.3 yards per punt, will come on. Deep to receive is Lorette for Canyon Lake. He'll stand at about his own 45-yard line. 13-0 Hawks. On 4th down and 14. Here's the snap. It's a good one. The punt, it's a wobbler. It's going to bounce at the Hawks 48-yard line. Takes a Hawks bounce back into Texan territory where it's down at the 47-yard line, and that's where Canyon Lake will set up shop. 1st down and 10 at the Texans. They're putting it at the 47-yard line.
Again, great field position now for the Hawks to do something on offense. And again, this thing is playing right into the script, I think, for Coach Drum. Not only his offense is just eating up big chunks, running the football, taking time off the clock, but he's winning the field position battle as well.
In this meeting a year ago, Wimberley won over in Wimberley 31-21. Fulton hands it up the middle. St. John immediately met after a gain of a couple of yards. 2nd down and 8 yards to go for Canyon Lake. You look at the all-time series between Canyon Lake and Wimberley, and early on, the Texans really owned this series. However, in the last 4 meetings, there's been a split, 2 games each. 8:55 to go, second quarter, 13-0 Hawks. Fulton under center. There's a flag, hands it off to a man coming around right to left. It's Ruiz. He's hit, gets maybe a gain of a yard, maybe 2 on the play. The tackle is made there by number 7.
Looks like it's against Wimberley. I mean, I don't know if it's offsides or what, but I noticed that Wimberley now, the Texans have put 5 down defensive linemen on in 3-point stands. They're trying to load up the box and do something to take care of those gaps, because right now they're getting gashed up the middle.
The tackle was by Kenyon, incidentally. My mistake, the 2 looking like a 7, and let's see what the Hawks will do here. By the way, keep it here at halftime. Looking ahead, we'll have Hawks Hurry Up. You don't want to miss that. Also, we'll have the sights and sounds of the amazing Canyon Lake High School Marching Band, and we'll also have some of the pomp and circumstance of the Homecoming 2017. So after the penalty, 2nd down and 4 for Canyon Lake. Fulton turns, hands it off to Chacon, has a blocker, is tripped up, slides down to the 37-yard line. That tackle is made by Matt Mitchell, but enough for the first down. It was a gain of 5 for Chacon.
You know, Bill, that's that same misdirection play that they had success the first quarter, where the offside guard, this time Foster, was pulling up into the hole, and it really is a nice-looking play. They run it to
1st and 10 from the Texans' 35-yard line. Fulton gives it to Chacon, met in the backfield. A loss of a couple of yards on the play. Knifing his way in was Bonoli, the free safety. A loss of 1 on the play. Now they making it 2. 2nd down and 12 for Canyon Lake. 8 minutes precisely to go in the first half. 13-0 Canyon Lake out in front of Wimberley.
It's not normally you see the free safety, in this case Bonoli, down at the line of scrimmage, but they're doing everything they can to put as many men in the box as possible.
Man in motion left to right. Fulton gives it to Lorette, trying to get around the right corner, is grabbed from behind and spun down for maybe a gain of a yard on the play. The big fella getting out there, it looked like Kincaid along with Moore.
Yeah, that play just took too long to develop, Bill, in my opinion.
3rd down and a long way to go. Canyon Lake right back to the line of scrimmage. Fulton back to pass, fires it over the middle, reaching up off the hands of McDonough, but there comes the flag. We might have a pass interference. In defense for Wimberley was Kenyon at about the 12-yard line. You had a good look at it, Jeff.
Well, yeah, that time Kenyon was grabbing his jersey from behind and kept him from able to catch the football. But what I like is the setup of the play, though, Bill. Canyon Lake came up to the line of scrimmage in a hurry. They didn't huddle, and they went on a quick count and tried to hit him with that quick pass. It was great. I mean, it was designed perfectly. They just missed it.
So the 15-yard penalty will give the Hawks the first down. And there you had Kenyon going up against the 6'5" McDonough, a size mismatch. It's 1st and 10 Hawks. The ball at the right hash mark at the Texan 23-yard line.
I think McDonough had a foot height over the cornerback on that time.
Duke brings the play in, and Fulton under center. Man in motion right to left, turn, handoff. St. John off left guard, gets inside the 20 to the 19 where he's met and thrown back after a gain of about 5 yards on first down. 2nd down and 5.
2nd down and 5, running behind that left side of the offensive line. Height, crisp, and of course Bradley Height, the center. They like that left side. I think there's a mismatch with the defensive line compared to the offensive line. They're a little bit smaller on the defense, so they keep hitting that left side.
Braden Height and Bradley Height, the fraternal twin brothers on Charlie drums, 2017 squad out in front of Wimberley, 13-0. Here's the 2nd down, handoff to St. John off right guard, gets a couple, then grabbed around the waist and spun down at about the 17, maybe the 18-yard line.
Capuros.
Third down, and it's a long 3 to go for Canyon Lake. Kiparos on the stop for Wimberley.
What do you do? 3rd and 3. What do you do? What's been working? Right up the middle, right off guard.
Wimberley has had the football twice here in the first half. The first time we're stopped on 4th down, the second time punted. Fulton, first there's a whistle. Movement by the Hawks on the left side. Instead of 3rd down and 3, 3rd down and 8 yards to go. There have been a few flags here in the first half on both teams, Jeff.
Yeah, I think this changes the offensive call right now.
Canyon Lake, this drive starting on the Wimberley 47-yard line. The offense looks over near side. The Texan crowd across the way, hushed silence. Wimberley in their first 3 games beat Lavernia 49-13, Giddings 45-28, and Lampasas a week ago 52-17. Fulton fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, trying to come around the left corner, is grabbed from behind and taken down by Hunter Moore. Gets to the 20, maybe the 19, a gain of a few yards. On 4th down, Coach Strum is going to send out Lorette and the field goal unit.
Well, that was a bootleg, and hoping that Fulton would have the option of either throwing or keeping himself for a first down. That time, Burnett came back from behind and stopped him short.
Fulton is going to spot it at the 26 at the left hash mark. This will be a field goal attempt of 36 yards. Lorette is hit from 29 and 24 this year. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick is up, and it's wide left. Just off the mark there. So for the Hawks, they'll come away without any points. But, Jeff, I'm going to add this, looking at the glass half filled.
Yeah.
The Hawks, again, were able to take a bunch of time off the clock.
Exactly. You'd like to come away with the points, obviously, but you know what you did do, what you just alluded to, you took a lot of time off the clock, and you kept Wimberley's offense on the sideline.
Wimberley, they'll start this drive, 1st down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. 4:57 to go, obviously, with the quick strike offense of Wimberley. Time not a factor. JoJo Weeks out of the shotgun. 3 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Back offset to his right, Weeks back to pass. Late blitz, Weeks now turns, tries to come upfield. Ball knocked away from behind on the turf, recovered by the Texans at the 15-yard line. Not sure who got in there coming from behind. I'll tell you who it was. Micah St. John, I think, came from behind.
Well, and also Lee Stafford came from his rover position off the backside edge, and Weeks never found him, never saw him.
So the loss of 5 yards, 2nd down and 15 for Wimberley. The Hawks defense has shown up so far tonight. Weeks out of the shotgun. Hands it off up the middle. Carruthers out over the 15, 20. Grabbed from behind, spun down to the 24-yard line. On the stop there for Canyon Lake is Jacob Ruff, the 5'10" junior. But Carruthers able to get about 10 yards on the play. 3rd down and 5.
Not bad. That's a good call, that delayed draw to Carruthers, and see what he can do. And he picked up 10 yards on that last play. Nice job.
Let's see what defensive coordinator Brian Hooper does here. Weeks, 2 out each way. Back offset to his left. Now Stover goes in motion right to left. High snap, but Weeks has it. Flips it. Far side Stover. Waits for a block. Grab from behind. Reaches out towards the line to make at the 30-yard line. And he has enough to Stover for the first down. Needed 5, got 5.5. 1st and 10 Texans with 3:25 to go in the second quarter.
You know, actually that was defended very well by the defense that time. For something that's quick hitter like that, and he's out in space, it's really easy to break that for a big play, and they only got 4 yards on it.
Ball at the left hash mark, trips right. Weeks throws it near side, almost intercepted Undercutting the route there for Canyon Lake was Stafford, and he had nothing but green grass ahead of him. Instead, incomplete, 2nd and 10.
I think he was looking at the end zone instead of looking at the ball in his hand. Stafford was in perfect position. And, I think the timing of that route was set up by bad high snap from the beginning. And it called Weeks to kind of get off his timing, and the ball was delivered a little late and a little high. Stafford had a golden opportunity. It just went through his hands.
Weeks was looking for Wyatt Mann.
Yeah.
Instead, it was almost Stafford. Weeks out of the gun again. Hands it off. Carruthers up the middle. Has a lot of room. Over the 35. Breaks a tackle at the 35 across the 40 to the 44-yard line. A gain of 12 for Carruthers. And first down Texans.
Yeah.
3:04 to go in the second quarter. 13-0 Hawks.
Well, that's what we talked about, how Carruthers doesn't go down off the first hit. And that time he was dragged down after making an additional 4 yards. It takes more than one person to get him down.
Texans ready to go again. Twins each way. JoJo Weeks, also a very good baseball player, throws it far side, has a man and immediately tackled at the 40-yard line. Lester Bame on the stop.
Not only did Bain make the tackle, Bill, he went over the blocker to do it. It was an excellent play. Great play.
Hayden Krebs on the grab. Despite the reception, it's a loss of 4 yards on the play. Second down and 14. And, boy, what a nice play. Bame, 6'2", 160-pound senior.
Already has one fumble recovery this year as well.
2:18 and counting to go in the second quarter. Weeks, quick strike, far side, has a man, eludes one tackler, and then wrapped up by 3 different Hawks. Krebs goes down, gets maybe a couple of yards.
Looked like Reno was the first one to get to him. Parker Reno, 5'9", 165 senior. It was enough to slow him down until the rest of the defenders were able to wrap him up.
Reno all-district second team a year ago. Third down and 13 to go for the Texans. The Texans do have a couple of timeouts remaining. The Hawks have their full allotment of 3 timeouts. The crowd again barks out defense at Hawks Stadium. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Weeks back to pass, fires it far side, off the hand of Martinez, the intended receiver. There's a flag thrown in that area at about the 45-yard line. Let's see what the call is.
Not sure what this is going to be, Bill. Not sure.
We've seen a couple of times tonight where Weeks has been high with his throws.
Yeah. He had plenty of time to set his feet and to throw off that back leg and really drive through that pass. And that time he delivered high.
It's going to go against Canyon Lake. Pass interference is the call. Stops the clock, 1:21 to go until halftime.
I thought maybe it was defensive holding, before the pass.
It may have been. Didn't see the white hat with the indication, but based on the march off, it's a 10-yard penalty. So you're right, it's a hold, not the PI. After they walk it off, it moves the ball into Hawk territory at the 49-yard line. And now they've got to get the chain gang sorted out across the way. 1:21 to go. We're going to take a break as well. 1:21 to go in the second. Hawks 13, Texans nothing. We'll be back in a moment on the Hawks Network.
At Frost, we have the top-rated app in the banking category. Yet it's the half-star that's missing that has our attention. So we're always pushing, tweaking, and updating. Because even a little half-star will keep us up at night.
Third down and 4, Texans. They've got the chains worked out. Weeks in the gun, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, throws it near side, has Stover. Inside the 45, works his way out of a tackle at about the 42-yard line, then brought down at the 41. The gain of 8 gives the Texans the first down. Lorette and McDonough on the tackle. But it's 1st and 10 Texans at the Hawks 41, 1:12 to go.
And knowing the Wimberley's offense, this is plenty of time to put the ball in the end zone.
The Hawks trying to find a way to shut down the Texans. Weeks has the snap. Carruthers tries to bounce around the left end, is hit, gets a couple of yards inside the 40 to the 38-yard line.
Well, that play was, I'm sorry to butt in. That play was blown up by the defensive end, Richard Rosas. He did a nice job getting in the backfield. 6'1", 225 senior, nice job.
A gain of 2. Wimberley, they call timeout to the Texans. Stops the clock with 54 seconds to go in the second quarter. Second down and 8 for Wimberley. This drive started at the Texans' own 20-yard line. 13-0 Hawks in front. And do you have a score from elsewhere?
We do. We have an update from the Smithson Valley Steel. It's 14-20 Steel at the end of the second half quarter.
Okay, that game, of course, brought to you by Wick Productions, as is this game tonight. So the Texans, coming out of the timeout, will send 2 receivers to the right. That's Mann and Stover near side, 2 to the left. 54 ticks to go in the first half. 4-man front Hawks. Weeks, pump fake. Here comes some pressure, pulls it down. Now throws it downfield, has a man. It's Mann, breaks away from a tackle at the 18 to the 15, 10, 5, dives for the end zone, touchdown. Touchdown to Wyatt Mann from JoJo Weeks.
Well, that's what happens when you give Weeks. He's scrambling around in the backfield, and at that time, it's hard for a defender to stay with your man when the quarterback is scrambling around. That time, McDonough was not able to keep up with Mann. Mann slipped by him, and Weeks was able to deliver him the pass for the score.
It's Albany to snap, Stover to hold. Coles on for the extra point. 40 seconds to go in the first half. The kick is up, and it is good. With 40 ticks to go, it's a Hawks 13, the Texans 7. A quick break, then we'll be back with more on the Hawks Network.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
If you bank at Frost, we'll help keep your money safe. If you use your Frost debit card, the chip will make it more secure. If there's a suspicious transaction on your card, you'll get an alert. If you do, you can freeze your card with the Frost app. If you lose your phone, Touch ID login will help keep the app secure. Of course, if all you need is help from people who care, we've got that too.
Coles to kick it away left to right. Lorette's the deepest man for the Hawks. Stands at his own 15. Coles, end over end kick, comes down to Lorette about the 12. Out over the 15, 20, 25, 30. Dances across the 35, far sideline, 40, 45. Finally met and shoved out of bounds at the 47-yard line. And that's where Canyon Lake will set up shop with exactly 30 seconds to go in the first half.
No, Bill, I need to be corrected on a score at halftime. It is Smithson Valley 20, Steele 14.
Thank you very much. A district opener for Coach Hill and Smithson Valley. Wimberley, they have one timeout remaining. Canyon Lake with two. Good field position starting at their own 46-yard line, leading 13-7. Fulton under center. Hands it off up the middle. St. John gets near midfield, a gain of about 4 yards before he's brought down. St. John has taken a bulk of the work here in the first half. He and Chacon. 2nd and 6, and
I think Coach Drum is just as, to be just as pleased just to let this clock run out.
Yeah, exactly. Canyon Lake, the offense, looks towards the near sideline, and the final few seconds will tick away here at Hawk Stadium. What a good first 2 quarters of football we've had so far. We look ahead to an exciting second half. Before we send it to our initial halftime break, Jeff, just your initial thoughts.
My initial thought is really Canyon Lake has played an excellent first half. They've won not only in the field position, they've won in the turnovers, they've won in the scoreboard on the scoreboard as well.
It's time for the halftime show. This is Canyon Lake Hawks football on the Hawks Network.
Introducing Hut Rewards from Pizza Hut. Finally, a rewards program that gives you points toward free pizza with every dollar you spend online. And get unlimited double rewards through October 1st. Don't settle for a piece of the pie. Join Hut Rewards today and earn free pizza faster. That's why no one out-pizzas the Hut.
At Frost, we have the top-rated app in the banking category. Yet it's the half star that's missing that has our attention. So we're always pushing, tweaking, and updating. Because even a little half star will keep us up at night.
At this time, we would like to introduce the 2017 Canyon Lake High School Homecoming Tour. Freshman Lord Logan Cruz and Lady Natalie McCoy. Logan Cruz is the son of Joseph Cruz and Cynthia and Dennis McCrary. Logan plays football and is part of the JROT. After high school, Logan plans to go to college to receive a degree and most likely join the military. Natalie McCoy is a daughter of Clint and Deanne McCoy. Natalie is a varsity cheerleader, plays basketball, and runs track. Natalie plans to major in physical therapy and rehabilitation at Texas Christian University. Sophomore count, Brandon Robinson and Countess Miriam Grabelicki. Brandon Robinson is the son of Mark and Jennifer Robinson. He has two sisters, Sydney and Abigail. Brandon is involved in football, baseball, FFA, and emerging leaders. After high school, Brandon plans to attend Texas A&M University and study veterinary sciences. Miriam is a daughter of Norbert and Mary Grabelicki. Miriam has been a member of band, varsity choir, and student council. After high school, Miriam wants to be someone who helps a lot of people by studying medicine and living life to the fullest. Junior Duke Jacob Ruff and Duchess Madison Blackburn. Jacob Ruff is the son of Joe and Michelle Ruff. Jacob is active in varsity football and track. After high school, Jacob plans to go to college and major in kinesiology. Madison Blackburn is the daughter of Matt and Melissa Blackburn. Madison is on the first class ballroom team, track, a PAL, and co-captain of our cheer team. After high school, Madison plans to attend Texas State University. Senior Prince Dean Graham and Princess Jolie Timmie. Dean Graham is the son of Sean and Annie Graham. Dean is a member of the CLHS band. Dean plans to have fun pursuing a career in music. Jolie Timmie is the daughter of Mike and Tina Timmie. Jolie is a member of the CLHS band and Canyon Lake FFA. After high school, Jolie plans on attending Texas State University and majoring in music education. Prince Parker Reno and Senior Princess Skylar Hurst. Parker Reno is the son of Ronnie and Shannon Reno. Parker is a varsity football player and on the Superintendent Student Advisory Council. After high school, Parker plans to join the Air Force. Skylar Hurst is the daughter of Doug and Brandy Hurst. Skylar is a cheerleader, plays basketball, runs track, and is a member of National Honor Society. After high school, Skylar plans to attend college to become a dental hygienist. Prince Jesse Wiggins and Princess Emma West. Jesse Wiggins is the son of Joe and the late Peggy Wiggins. Jesse is part of theater, choir, dance, and a cross-country manager. Jesse plans to go to college after high school. Emma West is the daughter of Bill and Monica West. Emma is the Canyon Lake FFA president and shows steers and hogs and participates in leadership contests. Emma plans to go to A&M and major in agribusiness and eventually take over her dad's sign company. The 2016 Homecoming Royalties. Queen Regan Mickey. Queen Regan Mickey is attending Texas Lutheran University and majoring in physical therapy. Congratulations to our 2017 Homecoming Royalty. At this time, Queen Regan will crown the new Homecoming King and Queen. The 2017 Homecoming Queen is Skylar Hurst. The 2017 Homecoming King is Parker Reno. Congratulations to King and Queen.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
When you're ready for a break, hurry in to Chicken Express. Let us do all the cooking for you. We always offer high-quality, affordable meals that the entire family will enjoy. Our chicken is never frozen and is hand-battered fresh so you can really taste the difference. You can expect fast and friendly service at Chicken Express, whether you dine in, drive through, or drive up. Hurry in and hurry back to Chicken Express.
flimsy microwave bacon tastes, but Wendy's oven-baked bacon tastes. Add it to fresh, never-frozen beef, and you've got a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. A JBC with 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink is what makes Wendy's 4 for $4 so deliciously different.
At Frost, we have the top-rated app in the banking category. Yet it's the half star that's missing that has our attention. So we're always pushing, tweaking, and updating. Because even a little half star will keep us up at night.
It's Martinez deep to receive for Wimberley. Lorette will kick right to left here at the start of the third quarter. He'll have the breeze to his back. Maybe that's something to keep an eye on later on in the ball game.
Yeah.
Who has the wind, who doesn't.
Definitely kick it deep in this situation like they did the second quarter. That was effective of putting Wimberley back in their side of the field.
Hawks in the green, Wimberley in their road white uniforms. Lorette tees it up at the 40. These two teams have split the last 4 games. Lorette, a little pooch kick, calling for the fair catch and taking it at the 39-yard line for Wimberley is Cooper McCollum. And that's where Wimberley will start things here in the third quarter. First down and 10 from their own 39-yard line.
I think he just kind of missed that one. Lorette just kind of missed it altogether. I don't think he meant to pooch it that short.
The offensive line again for Wimberley. Burnett, Moore, Gafford, Pitcher, and Kincaid. Weeks the quarterback. Carruthers the running back. Mann, Stover, Krebs, and Martinez are the starting receivers. Weeks out of the shotgun. He threw his 11th touchdown pass of the season back in the second quarter. First play, handoff, Carruthers up the middle and is met by a number of Hawks on the play, including C.J. Parrish. No gain, second down and 10.
Yeah, nice job by Parrish that time. He slipped the block through the B gap and was able to get Carruthers corralled for a loss.
Rosas, Parrish, Shepard, Crisp the front. McCormick along with Lee and Stafford, the linebackers. Lorette, Ruff, Bame, and McDonough, the secondary. 4-2-5 look by the Hawks. Weeks out of the gun. High snap, handoff Carruthers up the middle, runs over his own blocker out to about the 44-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play. In the neighborhood again for the Hawks, you saw Parrish in on the play. Third down and 6, Wimberley. The ball at their own 44-yard line.
The Texans stay with 10 personnel, which means 1 running back and 4 wide receivers. They're trying to stretch the defense and try to get some sort of natural gap or a hole for Carruthers to run through.
Near side, you have Stover and Mann. Mann caught the touchdown back in the second quarter. The Hawks bring in the blitz throw near side, Stover. Over the 45, spins out of a tackle. There's a flag down into Hawk territory. Stover at the 40, the 35, the 30, finally driven out of bounds by the Hawks, Lee Stafford. But I think this one is coming back, Jeff.
I think it's coming back. Little holding.
That helped to spring Stover near sideline, so wipe out the big gainer instead of a gain of, about 26 yards.
Well, besides the holding, I mean, it was a beautifully designed play. It really worked well.
Other than that, how was
Other
the play,
than the holding,
Mrs. Lincoln?
of course.
Other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
That's a natural comment to make on that play. Huh?
No, that's good, partner. So the umpire moves the ball back to the Wimberley 43-yard line, a spot foul. Third down, 6 yards to go for the Texans. I think we'll see that play again.
I think we will.
13-7 Hawks, a minute and a half into the third quarter. And by the way, I went down amongst the crowd at halftime. There is not a place to sit in this entire stadium. Weeks barks out the signals. Here comes the screen set up. Flips it to his back over the 45, into cross midfield into Hawks territory, 45-40. Finally tackled down at the 40-yard line. That's good for a gain of 16 on the play. It looked like the receiver was Kipperos.
Yeah.
That was a well-designed screen.
Well-designed screen. They let all the defensive linemen just get right upfield and get in Weeks' lap, and then he just dumped it over their heads to Kipperos, and he had a lot of real estate to run.
As a lineman, aren't you learned to feel that?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. As soon as you know you come through that easy, after 2-3 steps you turn and you run back.
Two receivers stacked to the right, one out to the left, a back offset each way. Weeks, high snap, handoff Carruthers, bounces it around the left end to the 35, 30, far sideline, cuts inside, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. We have a tie ball game. Thomas Carruthers from 40 yards out, and just like that, it's 13 all.
Yep. We told you they're just one play away from right back in this ball game. And that way it's just a simple dive play. It was a high snap again, but Weeks was able to pull it down and get it into Carruthers' belly, and Carruthers did it all on his own.
Carruthers, a team-high 7th touchdown on the year. Went for 3 against Giddings, 3 against Lampasas. And Cole's on to give Wimberley. It's the fake on the extra point. Weeks throws it back at the end zone. Too high for the receiver, incomplete. And that was actually Stover, the holder, I beg your pardon, not Weeks, on the play. So with 9:40 to go in the third quarter, it's now Canyon Lake 13, Wimberley 13. We'll keep it right here.
Okay.
Jeff, Wimberley, known for the big play.
Yeah.
You can't get much bigger than that 40-yard touchdown by Carruthers.
I mean, Carruthers did it all on his own. In fact, Coach Warren said that, as the game goes on, he gets actually better. That was his comment about Carruthers. So that's a compliment to a young man, because I think he starts to feel the game, feel the opportunity is on his shoulders to run with the football with authority. That time on that touchdown run, it was all on him.
So now Canyon Lake will look to answer back. The offense from quick tackle to strong tackle. It's Braden Height, Crisp, Bradley Height, Foster, and Allman. The offensive line, Fulton, the quarterback. Tailback is Ruiz, again filling in for Tanner Ferris, out tonight. Fullback Micah St. John, he had a good first half. Tristan Chacon at halfback had a good first couple of quarters. You've got McDonough, the swingman, and J.T. Green, the strong end. It's Coles to kick away. From left to right, Lorette, the deep man, back at his own 15.
Kicking into the wind, too.
There is a little bit of a breeze, about 8 miles per hour, coming out of the north. Coles, end-over-end kick. Lorette comes up and meets it at the 25. Scoots over the 30 to the 32 and then snowed under. Canyon Lake will set up shop, first down and 10. Obviously, Canyon Lake, their first possession of the second half. Started on 36.
Yeah, at this point, Bill, we can just throw the first half out the window. It's now 0-0, new ball game.
The battle of the backbone. Would we have expected anything else? Ben Fulton, three-year starter, all-district, second team a year ago, brings the team out. Was 1 of 2 passing back in the first half. Fulton turns, hands it up the middle, and nowhere to go at all. On the fullback dive, St. John gets maybe a yard, second down and 9.
I think the defensive line probably got a little bit of a lecture at halftime.
Yeah.
To kind of step it up a little bit. That time there was no room at all for St. John to run up the middle.
Rutherford, one of the captains for the Texans, one of the guys in there. Rutherford was first team all-district a year ago.
Yeah.
Second down and 9. Man in motion right to left. Handoff off left guard. St. John again gets out over the 35 to the 36-yard line. A gain of about 4 on the play. Third down and 5 to go for the Hawks.
No, nothing fancy on that offensive play, but right now the Texans are putting 7 men in the box. They're almost like daring Canyon Lake to try to throw the football.
Rosas brings the play in. They move it back a yard. Third down and 6 for Canyon Lake. 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. We're knotted at 13. Fulton, option action to the right, going around the right corner, is stuck and met. Gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage. One of the guys getting up from the bottom of the pile is Trey Manning for Wimberley. Fourth down and 6 to go for the Hawks. The Hawks have not punted tonight.
That was the best defensive stance that we've seen all night by Wimberley. Their defense was swarming all over that time. Fulton, he had nowhere to run.
Speaking of Ben Fulton, he also serves as the punter for the Hawks. It's Martinez deep to receive for Wimberley. He stands at his own 25. Here's the punt. It's end over end. It bounces at the 22, takes a high hop, and then Martinez fields it at the 20. comes near sideline, over the 25, 30, 35, gets to the 40, and then is hit right at the sideline, out of bounds. There's a flag on the play.
This might be against the receiving team at this point. Looks like holding, or we'll wait and see. Just speculating at this moment.
He'll let the officials sort out the laundry. We don't have a statistician with us tonight. We sent him on vacation to Europe to travel the mountainside.
I wouldn't mind. Can I have that job next week?
But anyway, my point was going to be, before that ill-fated attempt at humor, there have been a number of flags tonight. This hasn't been a pristine game in terms of flags.
No. That was one thing Coach Warren and Wimberley wanted to try, the Texans try to clean up a little bit, is all the penalties that they have.
Illegal procedure against Canyon Lake, holding against Wimberley. I didn't see a flag back down here.
I did not. We're going to re-kick it, I guess.
Yeah, Coach Warren is getting an explanation across the way. Coach Drum likewise near side. 7:27 to go in the third quarter, 13-all. Wimberley scored on their final possession of the first half, their first possession of the second half. And that was after Canyon Lake scored on their first two possessions of the game. So now they're trying to sort it out.
I don't think they really know what they want to do.
Canyon Lake at Lampasas next week. We'll have that game right here on Hawks Network. No, we won't. Check that. I'm rechecking the schedule. No, we won't. The Hawks return in a couple of weeks to host Austin Aikens. That will be on the Hawks Network. I need to pay better attention at these production meetings we have every week.
No comment.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
No comment.
You and I are going to get along just fine. They're still having the conversation amongst the officials down there.
I don't know if those penalties do offset.
Well,
I think that's what they're discussing.
Illegal procedure.
And holding. See, it's still going to be, I guess, the Texans' ball, and they're going to mark it off.
I don't know how the Texans can get called for a hold and be the beneficiary.
I don't know either.
Because, I mean, I'm just trying to be the math major here. Isn't a hold a longer march off than an illegal procedure?
Typically it is. Most football games it is.
So
they're trying to figure this out.
Yeah, the game comes to a sudden halt. A legal procedure against Canyon Lake is declined. Hold against Wimberley is accepted. So why would Wimberley decline the penalty against Canyon Lake? I don't know.
To be able to receive the ball, to have the ball, I guess.
Anyway, when the dust settles, as they say in the movies,
well,
Wimberley's going to be starting at their own 36-yard line with 7:27 left on your third quarter clock. I do know that. And JoJo Weeks, who has been heating up, the senior, 6'2", 190-pounder, brings out his offense.
Bill, we do have a quick score update with the Smithson Valley game. Smithson Valley 33, Steele 14.
3 out to the left, 1 to the right. Weeks throws it far side. Receiver screen, Stover. Across the 35, out over the 40 to the 41-yard line, where he's tackled by Reno. It's a gain of, we'll call it 5 yards on the play, 2nd down and 5. And there, again, it's Coach Warren in this offense looking to get the ball to a playmaker and have them make a play. That was a good tackle by Reno in the open field. Now 3 receivers to the right with the ball at the left hash mark. Back offset to the right of Weeks. Weeks handoff Carruthers up the middle, dances away from a couple of tacklers and then gets inside of midfield. Finally tackled around the legs down at the 49 of the Hawks. That's a gain of about 10 yards on the play. 1st and 10 Wimberley at the Canyon Lake 49-yard line.
Again, it's going to take more than one defender to bring Carruthers down. Snowden had his arms wrapped around his legs and wasn't enough to bring him down. You got to have everybody come in on the party, so to speak.
The Hawks in their 4-2-5 defense, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Back to the right of Weeks. Now Weeks fakes the handoff on the keeper, trying to go around the left end, and Kiperos Or check that. It was rough for Canyon Lake in on the stop in the backfield. A loss of 3 yards on the play, 2nd down and 13.
You know, that play developed the way it did where Weeks basically pulled the ball back and tried to run with it because C.J. Parrish, the defensive tackle, blew it up from the very beginning by getting such great penetration in the middle of the formation.
We're halfway through the third quarter, tied at 13. Jacob Ruff, the 5'10", 180-pound junior. Got Weeks around the legs, didn't let him go. Man in motion, Stover left to right, 2 out each way. Weeks pivots, throws it far side. Man catches the ball, is immediately snowed under. Another loss on the play. Canyon Lake had a defensive meeting. Parrish is out there. There's Ruff again. Also looked like Lee Stafford in on the play. A loss of about 5 yards sets Wimberley up with a 3rd down and 17.
You could not have drawn it up any better defensively than that. Get 3 or 4 of your defensive linemen going lateral on a lateral pass like that to tackle the receiver. That was excellently played. That was perfectly played.
You saw Weeks use that reverse pivot to try to get the defense to flow in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it's misdirection.
Now Weeks, 2 out each way. Watch the play clock, just gets it off. Weeks throws it near side Stover. It's in and out of his hands at the midfield stripe. Incomplete. Coming up on defense for Canyon Lake was Lee Stafford. There's that name again. 4th down and 17 for Wimberley. And you have to believe that Wyatt Mann, there he is. He stays in the game to punt. Lorette deep to receive for Canyon Lake. Lorette will stand at about his own 20-yard line.
You know, Bill, that time when Weeks was rolling out to his right, it was difficult for him to be able to get his feet planted to make a good throw. And we saw the result that the pass was actually low.
Mann will be punting into this breeze coming out of the north. And now there's going to be a false start against Wimberley. Yet another flag. What is it they say? There's been a lot of mustard on the lettuce tonight.
I hadn't heard that one in a long time.
Back Wimberley up 5 yards. Back to the 39-yard line.
All this is to add to good field position for Canyon Lake.
So now Mann will await the snap at the 25-yard line. Lorette moves up to his own 25. Here's the snap. The punt's away. It's a spiraling punt. A good job. Bounces at about the 23-yard line, then checks up. Not much of a roll there for Wimberley, but a nice punt, a 38-yarder by Wyatt Mann. And Canyon Lake, with 4:31 to go in the third quarter, will have 1st down and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
It's important that now the Hawks have some sort of drive to get out of their end of the field. March down the field, try to put some points on the board, take time off the clock, and keep Wimberley's offense on the sideline.
Canyon Lake punted on their first drive of the second half. Fulton turns, hands it off to St. John, off right guard, carries a couple of Texan tacklers with him out to the 28-yard line, a gain of 6 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Nothing fancy, nothing new, just that dive play right off the right tackle. Running behind Height and Foster, Jacob Foster, 6'3", 275, doing a nice job.
Looked like Rutherford and McCollum in on the stop, a couple of the Texans in on the stop. McDonough brings in the play from the sideline for the Hawks. They move the ball back to the 28, 2nd down and 5. Handoff, off right guard, a lot of room. Out across the 30 to the 35, 37-yard line. That's a gain of about 8 yards on the play. And there is Micah St. John again. He'll finally come to the sideline to get a breather as Jacob Ruff will go into the game. 1st and 10. 3:40 and ticking to go in the third quarter.
Yep, methodically going downfield, doing the same thing, attacking the belly of that defense.
Bradley Height, the center, Crisp and Foster, the guards. Handoff up the middle. Ruffin with the ball. Texans trying to strip at it. He gets out to the 40. A gain of about 3 yards on the play for the Hawks. Getting up from the bottom of the pile for the Texans. We see there's Cooper McCollum again.
They're You know, Bill, they're putting almost 9 men in a defensive box to try to stop that run. And still, the Hawks are getting 4 or 5 yards on the pop. It's amazing.
Got 3 on that one. 2nd down and 7. The Hawks did attempt 2 passes back in the first half. One was completed. Right up to the line of scrimmage, Fulton. Hands it off, flag on the play, hands it off to a man coming around the left corner, pulls a couple of Texans out over the 45 across midfield into Texans territory to the 46-yard line. What a hard physical run by the Hawks, but I think it's all for naught.
This might be coming back.
That was Ruiz.
That was a great run. Wow.
That was Ruiz. And again, filling in for the senior Tanner Ferris.
Oh, my goodness.
That's actually the Texans lining up in the neutral zone. So the big gainer by Joseph Ruiz, the senior, who's backed up Ferris the past 2 seasons. Did you see the way he finished that run?
His legs never stopped running. I mean, he just kept his legs pumping. And his offensive lineman kind of started to help, too, by pushing him forward.
1st and 10 from the Texans' 46-yard line. Fulton, tight formation. Handoff up the middle. St. John bounces off the right guard. Inside the 40, 35, 30. Finally dragged down at the 29-yard line. That's good for a gain of 18 yards on the play. Another 1st down for Canyon Lake. They move it back to the 30. But Micah St. John, what a night for him tonight.
Well, enough credit needs to be given to the offensive line, too, Bill. They're just doing a nice job on the trap block with Jacob Foster coming down on the nose guard, and it's wide open. They're just doing a great job blocking.
1st and 10 from the 30. Fulton hands it off. Ruiz tries to turn it up inside, is met with a hard hit and taken down after a gain of a couple on the stop for Wimberley, Matt Mitchell. 2nd down and 8 yards to go. By the way, Micah St. John in the loss at Wimberley a year ago had 9 carries for 41 yards. He is well north of that tonight.
Oh, he's having a great night. And again, we knew with Ferris being out that probably the dissemination of the football was going to be more widely, to more players.
90 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, tied at 13. Reese in motion left to right, handoff. St. John up the middle, dances inside the 25, spins at the 20, down to the 19-yard line. That's good for a gain of about 10 yards. Another Canyon Lake 1st down.
Counter dive right behind Foster and Allman. Nice job at alignment, but that counter dive play to St. John is really working well. The quarterback spins one direction and comes back and hands off to St. John going the opposite direction.
St. John comes to the sideline for a breather. Ruffin now in at fullback for Charlie Drum and his Canyon Lake Hawks. Fulton, the senior, man in motion right to left. Hand off to the fullback. Again, up the middle. This is Ruffin. Lowers his head inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. There's another chunk, a 7-yard gain for the Hawks.
Yep.
2nd down and 3, and I don't know, this could be our final play of the 3rd quarter.
Bill, it's just a beat down. When you can run between the tackles, play after play, and eat up 2, 3, 4 yards, it just beats up the defense.
Is this 4th quarter shaping up to be outstanding or what?
Very good.
Rivalry, battle of the backbone, homecoming. Fulton gets the snap, hands it off, fullback up the middle, maybe a couple of yards.
That's rough.
Tried to get to the 1st down line, Ruffin didn't make it there. It'll be 3rd down and 2 yards to go, and that was indeed our final play of the 3rd quarter at Hawk Stadium. With 3 quarters in the history books, it's Canyon Lake 13, Wimberley 13. Don't go anywhere. We'll take a break, and then we'll be back with the 4th quarter. You're tuned in to the Hawks Network.
At Frost, we have the top-rated app in the banking category. Yet it's the half-star that's missing that has our attention. So we're always pushing, tweaking, and updating. Because even a little half-star will keep us up at night.
When you're ready for a break, hurry in to Chicken Express. Let us do all the cooking for you. We always offer high-quality, affordable meals that the entire family will enjoy. Our chicken is never frozen and it's hand-battered fresh so you can really taste the difference. You can expect fast and friendly service at Chicken Express, whether you dine in, drive through, or drive up. Hurry in and hurry back to Chicken Express.
On 3rd and 3, Fulton turns, hands it off right guard. The back tries to get to the line to make behind Big Foster and gets the first down. The running back think was Chacon with the first down. It was. And so Canyon Lake, 1st and goal from the Wimberley 9-yard line. This drive started way back at the Canyon Lake 23-yard line. We are knotted at 13. Fulton hands it off, trying to run off right guard, dives ahead maybe for a yard, the Hawks running back. That was Chacon again. There on the stop for Wimberley. Look like Brady Corbett and a couple of other Texans in on the stop. 2nd and goal from the 9.
Yeah. That time the Texans defensive line by Rutherford and Kowalski did a nice job of holding their man up and securing their gap. There wasn't a whole lot then for Chacon to run through.
Micah St. John behind Fulton. Fulton fakes the handoff, back to pass, throws towards the end zone, incomplete as the intended receiver Chacon trying to spin to turn around. Incomplete, 3rd and goal from the 9.
I like the call. Little fake bootleg roll out. It gives Fulton the opportunity to either keep the ball or throw it, and that time Chacon was open. He just threw it the wrong direction.
Kind of a mix-up, stops the clock, 11 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. I guess we better not say ball game.
No.
Tied at 13 all. Canyon Lake led 13-7 at halftime. Fulton turns, hands it off, up the middle, dive towards the end zone, stopped at the 2-yard line. That was an inside handoff to Ruiz, and he tried to muscle his way, got as close. Now they mark it at the 3-yard line. It's a gain of 6, 4th and goal from the 3. Do you kick the field goal to go ahead or go for it here?
I think he's going for
answer.
it. I think he's going for it.
The Hawks scored the first touchdown of the game on the first drive of the game, but that was 4th and goal from the 1.
This is a long 2, or a long 3, I should say.
The nose of the football resting at the right hash mark, at the 3. Fulton, one back behind him, man in motion right to left. Fulton pitches, going around the left corner, Lorette, good pursuit, and the Texans defense stiffens and drives Trent Lorette out of bounds at about the 4-yard line. Turnover on downs, Wimberley football.
Well, the Hawks went back to that option play that scored a touchdown the first half. This time, though, the defense rose up. They seen that, and they probably were eyeing it. It was going to come back, obviously, and they did a nice job of stopping them short for the goal line.
So that's the bad news for Canyon Lake. The good news is you have JoJo Weeks and the Texans offense starting at their own 4-yard line. Let's see if Coach Hooper's Hawks defense can stiffen. Weeks in shotgun, stands in his own end zone, back each way. Weeks handoff Carruthers, up the middle, drag down from behind, gets out to the 5-yard line. A gain of a yard on the play. Not sure who that was that got him from behind. It looked like it was big number 25, Ross Snowden, the senior. 2nd down and 9.
Whatever you want to do on defense, you want to keep the play in front of you. Don't give them something big. Don't give them that one play that gets them back in the ball game.
If you're
keep everything in front of you.
If you're Dane Saucier, the OC for Wimberley, are you willing to throw the ball here this deep in your own territory?
Something quick, yes.
Weeks, 2 receivers to the right. Throws it right side, has Stover at the 5-10, up the far sideline, driven out of bounds near the line to make. Let's see where the official spots it. The official's going to move it all the way back to the 10-yard line.
He didn't make it.
A gain of 4 on the play. Brings up, you talk about big 3rd down and 4 for Wimberley. 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. We're deadlocked at 13.
That quick pass out into the flat like that, it's almost like a quick screen. There's so much real estate that it gives the receiver the opportunity to do what they do best and try to pick up a quick 3 or 4 yards.
Sometimes these spread quarterbacks are more like basketball point guards than quarterbacks. Weeks out of the shotgun. 3 to the left, throws it right side, has a man at the line to make. The catch, spin out of the tackle, out to the 20-yard line where the tackle is finally made. Looked like that was Hayden Krebs. No, that was Wyatt Mann on the catch. So first down Wimberley, the ball at their own 20-yard line.
Madonna was one-on-one with Mann out there on the Weeks side, and Weeks saw that one-on-one opportunity. He just delivered it. It was an easy passing catch.
He actually spot the ball at the Wimberley 21-yard line. But nice pitch and catch there by JoJo Weeks. All state in baseball, all district in football. Weeks has the snap, handoff. Carruthers is hit in the backfield, a loss of a yard on the play. Brings up second down and 11. Getting up from the bottom of the pile again for Canyon Lake. It looked like Snowden in on the stop.
Snowden and J.D. Green as well.
That's one thing we haven't talked about. We talked about it in our call earlier this week, Jeff. How many guys go both ways? It's kind of old school football.
It is. It really is.
7:40 and kicking to go in the fourth quarter. A canopy of black sky up above. The hometown crowd looking for the upset. And now, with the play clock going down, Wimberley, they have to use one of their precious 3 second-half timeouts. We're going to step aside. 7:31 to go in the fourth quarter from Hawks Stadium. Canyon Lake 13, Wimberley 13. We'll be back in a moment on the Hawks Network.
If you bank at Frost, we'll help keep your money safe. If you use your Frost debit card, the chip will make it more secure. If there's a suspicious transaction on your card, you'll get an alert. If you do, you can freeze your card with the Frost app. If you lose your phone, Touch ID login will help keep the app secure. Of course, if all you need is help from people who care, we've got that too.
Where Zaxby's is from, everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And now you'll like it even more because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
Second down and 12. Weeks, play action, back to pass, throws it down the middle of the field, has Martinez at the Texan 40-yard line, dragged down from behind at the 44. But the big gainer of 24 yards on the pitch and catch. And folks, I'm going to take you behind the curtain. During the commercial break, my broadcast partner, Geff Gandy, said, watch Wimberley try to go downtown. They did.
They did. It was the setup. You just knew it was going to happen. It's all a matter of time. And that time when you got one free safety back there, the defense is playing one cover, what we used to call an old cover 3. You have one safety and 2 men going deep. One of them's going to be open.
Martinez came in averaging 21.6 yards per catch. That one good for 25. Handoff, trying to go around right corner and met and stopped for a loss of a couple of yards. There's Snowden again. The running back for Wimberley on that play was Kipperos.
Yeah.
Second down and 11 to go.
That's a nice job by Snowden coming off the edge like that and not being faked out, coming in on Carruthers and did a nice job of making a tackle.
6:40 to go in the fourth quarter. The battle of the backbone has indeed been that up to this point, a battle. JoJo Weeks has thrown already for over 1,000 yards this season. Weeks hands it off to Stover on the end around, going around the right corner, gets a block. Into Wimberley, or into Canyon Lake territory, 40, 30, 25, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Or are they going to say he went out of bounds at the 15-yard line? Nevertheless, a gain of 40 yards on the play by Cade Stover, and the Texans are in business.
Yeah. When you have that much speed and that many weapons, you know they're going to eventually get to Stover again, and they sure did on the reverse.
They mark it out at the Hawks 14-yard line. apologize for that.
The Wimberley fan base, they were booing. They thought he scored. They didn't know. They didn't see him step out.
A bunch of referees over there saw the sideline.
I know. That's all that happens. That's all that matters.
Ball at the right hash mark. Weeks in the gun again. As two receivers to the left, one to the right. Weeks fakes the handoff. Keeper rolls to his left. Tries to dump it off to Carruthers. The pass behind him falls incomplete at about the 8-yard line. That would have been trouble for the Hawks had that pass been accurate. Instead, it second down and 10 from the 14-yard line.
Yeah, they were fortunate that was not completed because Carruthers had no one around him. We have a flag down, too.
Stops the clock with 6:02 to go.
It's against Wimberley.
Boy, if there's one thing I know that Coach Warren will talk to his team about, maybe not tonight, but this upcoming week, the penalties. The Texans 10-3 a year ago, went 3 rounds deep in the playoffs. They were expecting that this season and more, but do need to sort out the issues with the flags. The penalty is a personal foul. It's going to move it all the way back to the 29-yard line.
Wow, that's huge. That takes them out of field goal position as well if they hold them.
Well, wait a second. The umpire gets out his calculator and moves it back to the 24, a 10-yard penalty.
He's hearing the boos from across the stands.
The play started at the 14-yard line of the Hawks.
Okay.
And now our referee tries to look over to Coach Doug Warren and give an explanation. It's going to be first down and 20 after the 10-yard march off. Stover in motion left to right. A back each way for Weeks. Weeks throws it to Stover, far side. Tries to go up the sideline, is met and shoved out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. And now there's a flag thrown way late after the play as Stover was making his way back on the field. Words were exchanged. Let's see who this is against.
Well, Reno was out there making the play on Stover out of bounds, and it looks like both of them were jawing a little bit at each other, so it might be.
Reno, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, was announced as the homecoming king tonight as well. A few of the players were involved in the homecoming festivities.
Well, they can't throw a flag on the homecoming king now.
Right?
They can't do that.
The referee still hasn't indicated what the offense and or offenses were. And now a flag is thrown. As the referee stood in front of the Wimberley offensive huddle, words were exchanged again, and another flag goes up.
Well, now Reno's walking to the side here, to the sideline.
Has he been disqualified?
Sideline warning.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Canyon Lake. Reno has been ejected. And Wimberley, unsportsmanlike penalty against the Texans. Did you see a DQ against Wimberley?
I did.
But we don't have a number. Stover was over there involved. 5:56 to go in the fourth quarter, by the way.
We only saw Reno come off the field. Stover's still on the field.
Stover's over there.
And 3 sideline infractions?
And then, that was unsportsmanlike conduct.
Okay.
Against each team. Reno ejected. But what about the flag that the referee threw as he walked in front of the Wimberley offensive huddle?
Well, I'm thinking maybe Reno did say something when he was walking off the field. But 2 infractions against Canyon Lake and 1 against Wimberley. I guess that's the way to.
When they sort it all out, the officials spot the ball at the Canyon Lake 21-yard line. And that's where Wimberley will have first down and 10. Essentially a fresh set of downs. The unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, I guess, against Reno gave Wimberley a first down, but then the unsportsmanlike penalty against the Texans moves them back.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, I'm
glad you sorted it out.
I didn't think I'd need my rule book tonight. Sometimes
I didn't think so either.
I throw it in my laptop bag. 5:56 to go. Now the crowd is really into it here at Hawk Stadium. Weeks out of the shotgun. Wants Carruthers to move from his right to his left, 2 receivers out each way. Here comes the pressure. Weeks fires downfield, over the middle, diving catch, touchdown. Stover on the diving grab from 21 yards out. Cade Stover, his second touchdown reception of the year. JoJo Weeks, his 12th touchdown pass of the season. 19-13 Wimberley.
That play had success written from the very snap because the offensive line gave Weeks plenty of time to set his feet, take a look, and allow Stover to make his break on the post route before he threw the football, and it was a beautiful pass and catch.
Coles on to attempt the important extra point, and out of the hold of Stover, the kick is up and good. 5:48 left. Wimberley 20, Canyon Lake 13. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have more Canyon Lake Hawks football on the Hawks Network.
Introducing Hut Rewards from Pizza Hut. Finally, a rewards program that gives you points toward free pizza with every dollar you spend online. And get unlimited double rewards through October 1st. Don't settle for a piece of the pie. Join Hut Rewards today and earn free pizza faster. That's why no one outpizzas the Hut.
The Wimberley Texans have scored the last 20 points of the ball game. Now out in front, lead for the first time tonight, 20-13, with 5:48 to go in the fourth quarter. We've had a lot of fireworks already in the ball game here in the fourth frame. Lorette deep to receive. Nicholas Coles, the junior, tees it up at his own 40. He's got a breeze to his back coming out of the north. And Coles, the kick's away. Line drive, end over end, is going to bounce and roll into the Hawks end zone and through the end zone for the touchback. And that's where Canyon Lake will set up shop with still 5:48 remaining. First and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Bill, there's plenty of time on the clock to do what they want to do.
3 timeouts.
3 timeouts,
You don't
exactly.
have to change who you are,
no,
right?
No. Plenty of time.
Ben Fulton brings out his offensive charges. Fulton scored the first touchdown of the game. Here he's going to try to engineer another drive. Turn, hands it off up the middle. On the run there, Ruff gets out to maybe the 29-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play. Look like Carruthers in on the stop. Also Kent Kenyon in there. Actually, they move the ball out to the 30, so it's a gain of 5. 2nd and 5, Fulton. Wimberley stacking the box. Handoff. Off left guard, it's Ruff again. Gets out near the line to make before the stop is made. Gain of 4, maybe 5. On Close. The stop there is Kipperos.
It's first down.
First down and 10, Canyon Lake. 5:16 to go. As soon as they set the chains, the ref will wind the clock.
Yep.
Wimberley up by 7. Again, you have 22 players on the field within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage. Handoff up the middle. Ruff again gets out maybe the 39-yard line. On the stop for Wimberley, Kevin Rutherford among a few Texans in on the stop. Looked like also you had big number 84, Caden Kowalski.
Well, you see all the defenders trying to strip at the ball too.
2nd down and 6, ball security. Fulton, man in motion, right to left, hands off, Ruff off left guard. Gets out, leans out towards maybe the 43-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play. 3rd down and 3. The line to make is the Canyon Lake 45-yard line. Now actually they move the ball to the 43. It's 3rd and 2.
Well, I guess what the Texans are thinking the best way to slow that down is to torpedo the offensive linemen so they can't get out to the linebackers. That's what the down linemen are doing at this time.
4:10 to go. Fulton on the snap. False start against Canyon Lake. Wow. Instead of 3rd and 2, it'll now be 3rd down and 7. You can see Coach Drum with his hands on his head near sideline.
This could be a tough call right here. 3rd and long when you're basically a running style of offense, this is a tough call.
This is the first of 3 of the next 4 games here at home for the Hawks. Would like to get it started with a win against their longtime rivals. Fulton with 3rd down and 7. Ball at his own 43-yard line. Fulton, inside handoff, not much room at all, maybe to the 40. A gain of a couple of yards. That's Chacon on the carry.
Chacon was tripped up by Moore, number 76. Hunter Moore came in at defensive end.
4th down and 5, 3:35 and ticking to go. Looks like the Hawks are going to go for it. Play action maybe here, Jeff.
You have to have an option or some sort of option for the
RPO,
quarterback. Fulton
run
to be able
pass
to do
option.
exactly.
Fulton back to pass. Here comes the pressure. Throws it downfield off the fingertips of the intended receiver, but a flag on the play. The pass intended for J.T. Green, but had a Texan draped all over his back.
That's Kenyon was on his back. Yeah.
So the drive stays alive.
Very fortunate because that pass was high.
It was 3:15 to go. The clock stops, obviously. 20-13. Texans, who are on a 20-0 run in this game, lead 20-13. And there's the call. The Wimberley staff, they're complaining. They thought it was a tip ball, but the ball was tipped by the intended receiver,
Exactly.
J.T. Green.
It was not tipped by one of the defenders. Good try.
And now the referee throws the flag. It's going to go against the Wimberley sideline. Boy, things have gotten a little testy here in the last 9 minutes of game action. Reno's been ejected for Canyon Lake. That flag goes, and it's on the heels of a pass interference call.
Exactly.
It's going to, in effect, be a 25-yard penalty. That's a 4th of the field. Is my math right?
No, you're right. I was about to say, as a coach, you teach your players not to make stupid mistakes, but a coach just made a stupid mistake.
So the umpire's going to travel with the ball in his right paw. Now the Canyon Lake crowd really into the game.
3:15 left. There's plenty of time to do what they want to do.
Well, and
with 3 timeouts,
I was going to add that
clock
part.
Stops for them because of these penalties.
So, plural penalties, moves the ball to the Texan 38-yard line.
I like that, plural penalties. I like that.
1st down and 10. We knew there would be some drama tonight, and we've had it in boatloads. But some of the things we've seen here in the 4th quarter, my goodness. Fulton, the quarterback, trying to pull off the upset without Tanner Ferris in the lineup. Back behind Fulton. Man in motion, right to left. Handoff. St. John up the middle. Lowers his head to the 35-yard line. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Kaporis came up from his middle linebacker position to meet him in the hole. Not until after 3 yards, though. Again, probably you're not going to see anything different than what we've seen all game long as far as play calling.
We've gone under 3 minutes on your Hawks Stadium scoreboard clock. The nose of the football between the hash marks. The Hawks going left to right. Fulton fakes the handoff, back to pass. Here comes the pressure, and Fulton is sacked back at the 43-yard line. A loss of 8 on the play. Getting in for the sack, Hunter Moore.
Well, it's sure like they even knew that play was coming.
They got in there in a hurry, didn't they? And I'm going to say this. You've played a lot of football, clearly. As an offensive lineman, you run the ball so much, don't you get in that groove?
Exactly.
When you're asked to pass block, it's a different animal.
Exactly. Well, the defense knows what you're going to do also in that situation as well.
Your steps
they sent
are different.
them in. They had 2 linebackers just blitzed on the play.
They see the steps of the O-line, right?
Exactly.
Fulton. 3rd down and long. No room at all up the middle. Try to hand it off to Ruff. He's tackled for a loss of a yard back at the 44, and with a minute 50 to go in the fourth, Canyon Lake, they have to use one of those 3 final timeouts, and it is going to be 4th down and a good part of Comal County to go.
That sack was just terrible. That really killed the whole drive. And I understand the play call, but it takes so long for it to develop when they're so effective when they hit you quick, especially right up the middle with running plays or trap plays.
Ben Fulton coming into the game, throwing the football, 16 of 29, 356 yards, 55.1% completion percentage, 5 touchdowns and no interceptions. Don't need a touchdown here, but clearly Canyon Lake, they need a big one.
They need about 21 yards and they'll be okay.
Well, they need 16 for the first.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's,
your math's better than mine.
No, I was just saying. I think Canyon Lake would take 21, but I bet they take 16 as well.
Exactly.
Point
well taken.
Both stands here. Canyon Lake near side, Wimberley far side, fans on their feet. Fulton under center. One receiver out each way. Fulton rolls to his right. Here comes the pressure. Heaves it downfield. There's contact. The ball incomplete. The pass intended for Green there on defense was Hunter Benoli. A turnover on downs. Wimberley football with a minute 42 to go.
Well, they wanted to do a misdirection throwback, and they thought T.J. Green would be wide open, but he was defended nicely. It was a good call, good play, but defended even better.
Wimberley, with Canyon Lake having 2 timeouts, Wimberley can't run out the clock here. No. 1st and 10, the Texans start at their own 43-yard line. Back-to-back drives, Canyon Lake, they've turned it over on downs.
Yeah. Well, that sack just really, really put them out of favorable position for what they like to do and what they feel comfortable doing with a play call like that.
JoJo Weeks with Carruthers to his left, Kipros to his right. 2 receivers stacked to the right, Martinez to the left, handoff Carruthers. Met at the line of scrimmage, no gain at all. Rough on the tackle. Quickly, Charlie Drum for Canyon Lake calls timeout, a $1:36 to go.
Well, there's a small chance. That's kind of like was it Dumb and Dumber?
Dumb and Dumber,
I guess
one of the greatest movies of all time.
Exactly. So there is a chance, right?
You're telling me there's a chance. Yeah. What was her name? Mary Swenson?
Yes. Mary. Good memory.
I don't know, but I do know this. Charlie Drum in his 6th year as head coach here at Canyon Lake, looking for a big stop from the defense. It's 2nd down and 11.
If Carruthers is going to run with the football, start stripping, try to grab, do whatever you can to try to get a turnover as soon as his hands get on the football.
You would think that Doug Warren would have an extra dose of confidence in JoJo Weeks to not make a bad decision. Couldn't Wimberley potentially throw the football here? You've got a seasoned quarterback.
Yes. Yes.
But you and I aren't getting paid to make those calls, is what you're saying.
And the pass is going to go horizontal. Just a quick screen, something he can pass and catch real easy.
A back each way, 2 receivers stacked to the right, Martinez to the left. High snap, throw, far side Stover. Cuts inside, into Hawks territory, is wrapped up at the Hawks 47-yard line and slung out of bounds, but not before the Texan 1st down on the gain of 12 from Weeks to Stover. Of course, that was the hookup for the go-ahead touchdown earlier in the 4th quarter. And now with a minute 29 to go, the Hawks need a turnover. One timeout remaining.
Again, whatever you can do to go after the football is all you can do at this point to try to get a turnover. The clock is your enemy right now.
And conversely, if you're the Wimberley coaching staff, what are you telling your ball carriers?
Hang on to the football.
You played with a guy by the name of Mike Singletary. He knew how to cause turnovers.
And a few cracked helmets.
And Weeks now in victory formation takes a knee. 2nd down and guess officially move it back a yard. 2nd down and 11. We've gone under a minute.
Calling timeout now would do no good.
20-13, Texans on top of the Hawks, and it looks like that's going to be our final score. The Texans will have to take another snap. Weeks up under Daniel Gafford is center. Now the Texans will let the play clock go down. 7, 6, 5. There's about a 25-second disparity between the play clock and the game clock. And there's the snap. And again, Weeks takes a knee, and that'll do it.
Yep.
The Canyon Lake Hawks tonight jumped out to a 13-0 lead early on in the second quarter. And now Coach Drum is actually going to call timeout. So don't go anywhere.
Just to irritate.
13 seconds to go.
They can't celebrate quite yet. I want one more timeout.
Yeah, the trainers are even being called back. So the Hawks are indeed going to have the Texans snap it one more time. Keep it here in the postgame. After we send it to break during our postgame festivities, we'll be back with a recap of tonight's game, a look at your scoring summary, and a look ahead to Canyon Lake's next ball game. And that, of course, we've talked about it earlier tonight. It'll be the Hawks at Lampasas taking on the Badgers.
Well, this has been my first experience of Battle of the Backbone. And I tell you what, this has been a great game.
It's my second.
These two teams get after it. You can tell they really dislike each other for at least one day out of the year.
12 miles.
12
through
miles.
That gorgeous Texas countryside.
Your neighbor may be on the other team that lives across the street from me. That's how close this is.
So now the Texan offense, led by JoJo Weeks, under center. Just one more snap, and presumably Weeks will take a knee again. He does indeed, and flips the football to the head referee, and that'll do it. The countdown of the final 10 seconds here at Hawks Stadium. Nice comeback by the Wimberley Texans, improved their record to 4-0 on the year. Canyon Lake, the Hawks, now back-to-back losses to really good football teams. A 5-point loss at Giddings a week ago, and a 7-point loss at home to Wimberley tonight. No shame in that. The Hawks now 2-2.
2-2. I know they feel disappointed, Bill. They have to be disappointed because they played good football. They played well enough maybe even to win the game, but it's the little things you have to do when it counts the most, and tonight they just weren't able to connect on it.
We're ready for post-game coverage from Fischer, Texas. I'm Bill Culhane, again, along with my broadcast partner this evening, Geff Gandy, Bo Wick, here on site, taking us through, turning the dials, pushing the buttons. So let's take a break. When we come back, we'll have your postgame here on the Hawks Network.
Flimsy microwave bacon tastes, but Wendy's oven-baked bacon tastes. Add it to fresh, never-frozen beef, and you've got a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. A JBC with 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink is what makes Wendy's 4 for $4 so deliciously different.
Introducing Hut Rewards from Pizza Hut. Finally, a rewards program that gives you points toward free pizza with every dollar you spend online. And get unlimited double rewards through October 1st. Don't settle for a piece of the pie. Join Hut Rewards today and earn free pizza faster. That's why no one outpizzas the Hut.
Post-game coverage from Hawks Stadium as the crowd files out into this beautiful Friday night here in Fischer, Texas. Canyon Lake tonight got started early, took the opening kickoff from their own 47-yard line, and then on 4th down and a half a yard to go, quarterback for Canyon Lake, a man who had a really nice game tonight, Ben Fulton, plunged in from a yard out to give Canyon Lake an early 6-0 lead. The extra point was no good. After a big 4th down stop by Cayman McDonough on a JoJo Weeks 4th down pass, Canyon Lake took over their own 32-yard line, and that drive was culminated by a 5-yard run around left end by Joseph Ruiz. The extra point was good by Lorette, and all of a sudden, Jeff, 13-0 Canyon Lake, and that was as good a start as Charlie Drum and everybody wearing green could have hoped for.
You couldn't draw it up any better than that, how they took care of field position, they moved the football, they ran the plays that they feel comfortable and where their strength is, and that's running between the tackles.
Again, many thanks to my broadcast partner, Geff Gandy, and our all-star lineup. I'm Bill Culhane. Your final score from Hawks Stadium in Fischer, Texas. It's the Wimberley Texans 20. The Canyon Lake Hawks 13 with the win. Wimberley will take the 12-mile drive back to Wimberley with a record of 4-0. With the loss, Canyon Lake now a record of 2-2. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you down the road. Good night, everybody.